The Denver Nuggets have a problem. We're going to tell you what it is and what they need to do this offseason and why Russell Westbrook should retire. That's coming up next on The Big Lead. What is up, and welcome to The Big Lead. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. I've covered LA sports for over a decade, the NBA for over a decade, Bleacher Report, SI, Dodgers Nation. I also do NFL radio for Westwood One. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. It's the hottest stories in sports, the NBA, the NFL, everything. You're going to find it here. If we're talking about in the world of sports, we're going to talk about here on The Big Lead. Also, we're getting close to 2,000 subscribers, and once we get there, we're giving away a Luka Doncic Lakers jersey. Just comment Luka Magic down below in the comment section. Okay, so we've got the Western Conference Finals set. The Oklahoma City Thunder have advanced. They blew the brakes off of the Denver Nuggets in Game 7. Denver came out, was a hot start. They're up 21-10 at one point. It looked like they were going to make a game out of this. And then all of a sudden it was a resounding victory for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They trounced the Nuggets. They win 125-85. Just an absolute blowout. And you got to give this Thunder team credit. I mean, they just absolutely exploded in the second quarter, scoring 39 points. And as OKC's coach said, hey, there's not many games where you wake up and you remember that game for the rest of your life. That was one of those games for the Thunder. You're going to remember that game for the rest of their life. And they came to the party and they were ready to play. After a slow start, they got the job done. The top-seeded Thunder advance. And a couple takeaways, and we're going to start with the Nuggets, though. We're going to start with on the Nuggets side, and that is the Nuggets, they need work. And I think the series really proved that Nikola Jokic does not have enough around him to say, hey, this is a Nuggets team that's good enough to win another title with him, okay? We saw what this team looked like when you had the right role players in place with KCP and Bruce Brown. Those guys are gone. They bet on youth and development guys like Peyton Watson and Michael Porter Jr., and you bring in Russell Westbrook, and you have Brown, and there's pieces for sure, but I mean, outside of Aaron Gordon and Brown, I mean, this team just did not get anything consistently from their role players. And I look at this Denver team. I mean, Strother and Peyton Watson, they shot a combined 4 for 16 in Game 7. Russell Westbrook, turnovers, missed shots. I mean, he's a shell of himself. We'll talk about him in a second here. But, I mean, Russell Westbrook, he went 2 for 7, scored 6 points in 22 minutes. He was not the answer for them. And I think the Nuggets, they're going to remove that interim tag from Adelman, and they're going to move forward with him, and that could make some sense. He has been one of the rising coaches in the league for a couple years now. But Michael Porter Jr., yes, he didn't look healthy, but he looked unplayable, and you saw no confidence in his shot throughout this series. He was missing frequently in the chance that he had, and that just puts too much of a burden on Jokic and too much of a burden on Jamal Murray. And that's just not what you are going to need from those guys to be able to sustain anything in the playoffs. I mean, you have to just to come to your senses if you're Denver and say, look, we messed up by letting the best piece we had around Joker leave, and the guys we got have just not cut it. And you look at Michael Porter Jr., he's got a big contract. He's supposed to be that guy that can step up in those spots and kind of be that third weapon at times. But, I mean, look at the series he had. It was pretty miserable. It's a pretty miserable series for him. I mean, he ends up averaging 7.4 points per game. 7.4 points per game on 32% shooting this series. I mean, he was absolutely atrocious. He was terrible. And I know people want to point the finger at Russell Westbrook, but he's on a league minimum contract. Michael Porter Jr. is paid a lot more than he is, $30+ million. And then you look at Jamal Murray. He had his ups and downs too during this series, and he's supposed to be that second guy. We know that Jamal Murray in the playoffs, when he's right, he is fantastic. There's no doubt about that, right? But during these playoffs, I mean, he played in 14 games these playoffs, and he shot 44% in those games. I mean, you just need more from Jamal Murray in that stretch as well. So, yeah, I mean, this series alone, he averaged 20.7 points per game, 4.6 assists on 40% shooting. So, look, even Jokic didn't have his best series, but I think it's the biggest takeaway you can have for this series is you need more of a roster build from them. So, look, there's that, and then, look, let's just be honest here. I'm a big Russell Westbrook fan. I'm a UCLA alum. I've always loved the Brody, but it's time for him to retire because the more you play like he's playing, the less you're going to remember how good he was when he was in his prime, when he was averaging a triple-double, when he was the most explosive point guard in the sport, when he was doing things that we really hadn't seen since at that position. It was really him and Derrick Rose as these explosive point guards, and we just aren't seeing that. I mean, we just aren't seeing that. He's just not the guy that he was at the peak of his powers. And look, I understand you love the game. You want to go out there and you want to play because it means a lot. You want to go out on your own terms. But the truth is, I mean, even if you win a championship, I mean, what kind of role are you going to have in that championship? It's not like you're going to get the credit of being a finals MVP or being a 1 or a 2 on a championship team. I mean, at best, he's a guy who's a sixth man on a championship team. Yes, that worked for Bill Walton for sure in the Celtics in the 80s. But, I mean, he goes 2 for 7, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. But during this series, Russell Westbrook averaged 9.9 points per game, 34.8% from the field, though. He shot 34.8% from the field, 21.9% from beyond the arc, 2.4 assists, 2.6 turnovers per game. Just the ups and downs, the roller coasters of Russell Westbrook did hurt the Denver Nuggets. He finished with a minus 92 plus minus in this series, a minus 92. And look, I love Russell Westbrook. I really, really do. But the Russell Westbrook experience was not a success for the Denver Nuggets. If this was 2017 Westbrook, I think it'd really help a team if you had better talent around him. But, I mean, minus 16 the three-point game is impressive even for Russell Westbrook. I mean, people are talking about that. And it's kind of one of those things where, look, it's just rough. It's rough for him, and I don't think even if he ends up in the ring, it's not going to be on a team that he's going to have a major impact for. So, look, I love you, Russ. You've made tons of money. You have an MVP. You're a first-ballot Hall of Famer. You're a top 75 player of all time. But dude's 37. It's time to hang them up. Unless you just want to be the last dude on the bench right now or come in and give you some. And he had some moments early in the series for sure. He really did. He had some moments in the Clippers series for sure. But there's just too many ups and downs. The variance of his game is too high, and it's a major, major concern. Other big takeaways for this series are Aaron Gordon. So Aaron Gordon, he had a really interesting take where he thinks that they should get more rest in between series, in between games to try to have series kind of play out. And I thought that was really interesting. But I still give him a lot of credit, man. Aaron Gordon is an absolute gamer. The problem is that the hamstring just didn't let him go. He gutted it out. He suited up. He said after the game, I knew the risk, but I wanted to be out there for my team. He fought for rebounds and somehow got 11 rebounds in this one. It was his third highest game total in the playoffs, rebounding-wise. Had 8 points, made half his shots, and he played 24 minutes. So give him a lot of credit. He called it old man basketball, and he was talking about how he rarely left his feet. So that was kind of hilarious to see him kind of change his style of play. And then David Adelman, he said it was one of the most incredible things he's ever seen. So eventually he and everyone kind of knew how that would end. I mean, Aaron Gordon was dragging his left leg after that first quarter, didn't look very mobile. And then the Thunder, they started to exploit it. And the Nuggets, they knew they would, and they began just passing him whenever he handled the ball. And Gordon was stripped a couple of times, and he looked helpless out there. So I give him all the credit in the world for going out there, being out there for his team and playing. But he did not look – he looked like 30% Aaron Gordon. He did not look good at all. I think for Oklahoma City, though, hey, give him credit. I mean, it wasn't the 68 the win team for nothing, right? I mean, they were the best team in the regular season. They had better depth. And even in the games that Denver won, I mean, Oklahoma City was in control for most of those games. And, yeah, I do like the fact, too, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he did say, I was nervous. He said, I was nervous, and he went out there and he performed. So I think that was the biggest game. That was the biggest game of Shai's career, and I think it came up big defensively. I think that he was also efficient, 35 points in 36 minutes, and he got enough help from his teammates. So I was impressed by how Oklahoma City handled this when you consider how youthful of a team they are. Not a ton of veterans that have been there before, guys like that, and you're still able to get to the Western Conference Final. So a major, major step in the right direction for OKC. They check that box off. You knock off the Denver Nuggets team that has Nikola Jokic. And I think, too, J-Dub, I was definitely impressed with Jalen Williams. I think that he's had some ups and downs this series for sure, but he stepped up big time, too. I mean, he really, really did. And I think he just kind of grabbed the bull by the horns there and said, okay, I am a guy that can be a number 2 on a team that can win a championship. The second quarter, I think, was the moment of truth for OKC. The Nuggets just absolutely ambushed the Thunder after the opening tip, and then it was a quick 11-point lead. And then because of Jalen Williams and company, they were able to come back and just completely obliterate this team. I mean, he stripped Jokic there in the second quarter. He went inside, had a dunk, a three-pointer. He had 17, and then the first quarter he had 17 of OKC's 29 points in the quarter. So it was Jalen Williams really stepped up with 17 of those 29 and had that major impact. And then it was 8 for 11. I mean, that was more field goals than he had in games 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. I mean, that was really, really good. Shai said after the game he came in with great force, used his speed and power, gave us momentum. He wouldn't have played the way he played today last year. So Shai's talking about the growth of his own teammate, knowing that, hey, he's made a big step in the right direction. And Williams did say that he wasn't worried about his last game. He said, I was hyped, excited to play. He said, you don't know how many game 7s you're going to get. And he went out there, and he was huge for this team. You got to give him tons and tons of credit for going up there and stepping up the way he did. And I thought he was massive. And then how about Alex Caruso, too? Just the defense that he played on Jokic. I mean, 6'5" Alex Caruso. When he was matched up with him, he guarded him for 7 minutes, held him to 2 for 5 shooting when he covered him. And that was huge. And you got to give Sam Presti credit for this one. Alex Caruso, Hartenstein, I mean, these defensive guys, these role player types that I think are big on teams. And I think it's the Thunder's championship to lose. I really do. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder, I think they're going to be NBA champions. I really think it's going to be the first championship in franchise history. And that's because they're the best team. They got over the hump now. I think they're going to take care of business against the Timberwolves. That, yes, you have Anthony Edwards, but I like the Thunder's depth in the roster they have. I think it's going to be an absolutely electric environment, too, in Oklahoma. And I think that they're the better team. I think the Knicks are the team everyone wants to win. And sure, I wouldn't be shocked if Jalen Brunson and that team that's so gritty and so clutch at times could win an NBA championship. Don't count out the Pacers either. But I'm betting on the team that has the best record in the regular season. They had a historic regular season. And now you have the MVP with a chance to really cement himself as one of the true faces of the league, right? A guy that is superior to Jason Tatum in essentially every single way. And I think he's got this opportunity to go and win a championship. So I got the Thunder beating the Wolves and going on to win an NBA championship. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Big Lead. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Until next time, I'm out.